Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
It's refreshed. I think right now there's water, so it's kind of like
Mrs.
Jacobson.
Can I get you anything else? She bring me some hot water. Hot water, okay. Yeah. Or tea, whatever.
How are you?
Yeah. Good Yontif, everybody. Good Yontif. And I just make a bracha.
Amen.
And then I want to give a bracha for our holy soldiers in Eretz Yisrael. They should have a total victory with no soldier being hurt in any way. The captives should be released immediately, healthy and happy. And all the wounded and sick should be healed immediately. And no Jew should be hurt anyway. God, the goal I miss is not flame. Thank you very much. Maybe I could start with something personal in my own life. We're talking about his kashrut, yeah?
Would you like to sit down?
Whatever I want. I'll decide whether I want to sit down. I'm a stander anyway. I got used to standing by Farbrengen for hours and hours and hours. So when I come to shul, I don't even, unless I have a good place, and then I sit. Otherwise, I'm always standing around. In school, I stand. So for me, it's okay. Thank you. So we're talking about his kashrut. How do you really connect to the Rebbe? So I want to start with something very personal in my own life. I was born in Russia, and I was 10 when we left, which means that I have memories of our life there. I mean, not that much, but, more or less. We were pretty sheltered. I mean, this was a place, communism was indescribable. I'm not even going to attempt to tell you what, because it's unbelievable that people should live that way. I mean, you couldn't go anywhere, you couldn't do anything, you were arrested for no reason whatsoever and sent away to the gulags or just never to be seen again. The conditions were so terrifying. The only thing that I feel that, of course, Chassidim, and we were the Babash Chassidim in Russia, have a way like what Mendel Futterpot was in prison, and the people that he was with, I mean, they were not prisoners, they were all lawyers and doctors and great writers, great people. So they will all be wailing their condition. They say, look, I was a doctor, I was a lawyer, I was this, and I was that. Look at me, I'm nothing. So they look at him. What were you? He said, yeah, I was doing all kinds of things. That I'm a chassid. I was a chassid there, and I'm a chassid here. This is what a chassid is. You're not a worker. You're not a. So it's very interesting. I want to mention something because that's so touching. That on the Chav Cheshvan we just had now, before Kislev, was the birthday of the Rebbe Rashab. And the Rebbe spoke, and he was crying when he spoke about it. He said, it just came to me because of the word chassid, but it's so touching, I have to say it, and not that connected with what I want to talk about. But the Rebbe said that it's Chav Cheshvan, and what do we have to do with a person who lived who knows how hundreds of years ago? He says, so close your eyes, forget that you're a doctor, a lawyer, a plumber, a butcher, a baker, you're a chassid. Close your eyes, lock the door, and just remember, you're not in Crown Heights, you're not in Brooklyn, not in America, you're a chassid of the Rebbe Rashab. Close your eyes and understand and live like a chassid for just a few moments. That's called iskashrus. Iskashrus, actually, I want to describe what iskashrus meant to me at home. We never saw a Rebbe in Russia. We never saw a picture of a Rebbe. We never saw Sfarim that the Rabbeim wrote. We had, I think my father had a Tanya. We had something, but very, very little. And yet my mother, I don't know how many people saw the podcast that somebody interviewed me. So I talk about it there, but I'm not going to go into it. there's a podcast on, I love the title, Homesick for Lubavitch. I love, somebody should say Homesick for Lubavitch on YouTube. But you can get it without YouTube also. Just Tzivia Jacobson, it'll show up. So my mother, every single night before we went to sleep, she would say that Rebbe shall help me to Rebbe. With the previous Rebbe, we had as much chance of thinking the Rebbe like right now we could sit up and fly up to Pluto or someplace there was absolutely no chance of even thinking about such a thing. Yet my mother would say that every single night. I mean, like, where did she get it? So Hiskashrus again means that you want a Rebbe. You want a Rebbe in your life. I was thinking, should we say we need a Rebbe and the Rebbe needs us? You know, we could say, does Hashem need us or he wants us? Says Hashem had a desire to create the world. Does he need us or he wants us? He wants us. He loves us, so he needs us, but he doesn't have a need. So I think by us, it could be the same thing. It's not that we have a need, some kind of a need. We want to be close to him. We want a Rebbe. It's beautiful the way, and of course we saw the Rebbe, by the way. We did see the Rebbe 2 years later. When I was 12, we came to America and we saw the Frierdiker Rebbe right before he passed away. A few months before he passed away, we saw him. So my mother's wish came true, and there was no way it was going to become true. So I remember in 1950, when the previous Rebbe passed away, and the Rebbe didn't want to take on. So finally, when he agreed, and they started to sing the niggun of the Maimed, that the Rebbe was going to say Basel Lakani, so Chassid, I don't remember who it was, stood up on the table and started screaming, say them, we have a Rebbe. This is what we're talking about right now. What does it mean to have a Rebbe? What does it mean that we have a Rebbe? It's such a very special feeling that we need to really have inside of us, because the Rebbe and us are all one. It's like being with Hashem. There's no separation. We create a separation. Some people say, I feel so cold, I don't feel close to the Rebbe. I need his kashrus. What do I need to do to have his kashrus? Did you ever think of what do you have to do to be close to your mother and father? Did you have to think about like what am I supposed to do? Follow rules, follow regulations. You have an innate love for your parents, and parents have for you, that nobody can tear it apart. So I have the same exact thing with the Rebbe. So the Rebbe is always close to us, except sometimes we ourselves create a situation where we think that we need to do something in order to be as cautious to the Rebbe. There's a letter that a chassid wrote to the Rebbe. That something happened to him. I don't know, but something happened to him. I don't remember what it was. Was it physical? I only have the answer from the Rebbe. So what is the Rebbe writing? Don't forget, he said, whatever happened to you happened more to me, because you're only a shaliach. I'm the one who sent you. I'm the mishaleach. So if somebody's hurt, he says, I'm much more hurt than you are. And yet I didn't take it seriously. I don't take it to heart. I'm ignoring it. I'm going to go above it, and that's what you need to do. So let's remember that. Because sometimes, again, we do things when something happens to us. The Rebbe is the heart and mind of all of us. We're all one in the Rebbe's heart. We are in his heart. So again, let's go back to what happened on Shmini Atzeres by Jacobson. Rebbe had a heart attack. What does that mean? He's our heart. It means something happened that we are responsible, that we actually created that situation. And then, what happened on Shmini Atzeres in Israel? October 7th, Shmini Atzeret. What happened there? The Rebbe, at that, the heart, the Rebbe writes something beautiful. There's also a little excerpt from a sikha from the Rebbe where he says that the heart feels more than the brain will ever know, because the heart feels not only what's happening right now, feels what's going to be happening even 1,000 years from now. The heart has everything inside of it, so it feels everything. So right now, when the Rebbe has his heart attack, this was included. This what happened October 7th was included in that heart attack. That's why it was so severe. I know it's hard for us to understand, but Hashem, past, present, and future are all one. So we say, what do you mean? It happened how many years? What, 30 years later? How many years is, what do you say? What is connection? It doesn't make any difference. There's no time. There's no difference whether it happened yesterday, tomorrow, or 20 years from now, or 20 years ago. The Rebbe felt everything. So when the Rebbe is not well, it's not like, oh, the Rebbe is not feeling so well. I remember there's a story about the Tzemach Tzedek, that the Chassidim were, the Rebbe, Tzemach Tzedek locked himself away when something happened. His wife passed away, so he didn't want to have anybody talking to anybody. So he was in his room and he wasn't coming out so quickly. Somebody, of course, persuaded him, and it happened, came out. But the Chassidim were walking around with some Bachrim, and they were saying, oh, the Rebbe's depressed or something. So there was a chassid there. He said, he used the not as such a nice word to them. And he said, what do you think? The Rebbe is like you, flesh and blood, and he's depressed. And he said, something has to do with you. How are you behaving? That's why the Rebbe is in this room, doctor. It has nothing to do with that. Oh, the Rebbe is depressed, he's sad, he's not happy, he's not feeling well. It's you. It's we that are doing it. They're doing it. So this heart attack was not just, they have a heart attack. I have to tell you something, a little side. In the morning, I try to daven and say my tefillin. So it was Friday morning, and I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to leave the tefillin for later because I want to go shopping for Shabbos, and then I'll come home. I'll say my tefillin. Then I said, you know what? Let me just get it done, and I know it's done again. So this was quite a few years ago, after the Rebbe had his heart attack, and so I got into my car, and I finished the tefillin. I got into my car. I'm driving up New York Avenue, and all of a sudden, I see the Rebbe and Dr. Resnick strolling down the street because the Rebbe had to walk. He had a heart attack. So the doctor and the strolling, and I said, look at this, If I wouldn't have said the tefillin, I would have missed that opportunity. So it's all in us. It's so interesting that we create our reality. There's nothing that happens that could just say, oh, we know the word hashgacha pratis. We use all these expressions, but do we live that? Very hard for us to really be in that all the time. That's what it means to have a Rebbe. When you live with a Rebbe, that's how you live. Nothing is personal in that sense. You do what you have to do, and suddenly things are just happening, just the way you need it. Because we need to do what we need to do. So let me describe the situation also. So I'm sure you read about it, but I was there, and I have in front of my eyes. So I think I could be so descriptive that you should be able to see it as well. I want you to see it. So in 770, and of course the usual thing, I'm sure you know, not even now, by Hakafis, it's also so packed. I'm not here because I go to Manhattan. I had a very wonderful experience this Simchas Torah because there were more people than ever. They closed the street, and my daughter and my son live in the Upper East Side, and they closed the street to have a coffee. So they had over 1,000 people on the street for the whole long block, from First Avenue to York Avenue, all closed up, 77th Street. And from all over, they came from all over. And about 30 or 35 Bachrim walked from 770 to it's 3-hour walk there and 3 back. So they walk there and back the same night. But they dance with everybody, and that's what makes it. They dance with all the people that come over to them, and they talk to them, and they hug them, and they kiss them. In the meantime, the women who come, so as soon as you walk into the Chabad house, there's an entrance. So we put tables so we had about 250 tea lights put out. And we lit, and about 225 women lit candles. So I go out, I call them in, we say Shechayanu, I tell them the bracha, some of them know, some of them don't know, they don't know that you have to make Shechayanu, and I'm a Sephardi, so we don't have to. The Rebbe said you have to. And not only that, I tell them, listen, this is your moment with Hashem. Close your eyes, ask Hashem what you need. And don't be stingy, I always tell them. Just like I tell my Mechon Chana girls, to marry a Chassidish, wonderful, sensitive, loving, handsome, healthy, beautiful husband who is also very, very rich. I believe in having money, you know. I think people who have money don't say this. I know. If you're rich, you don't say you should be rich. You know, you have that thought, so that when I say you should be rich, and you said I'm not so. But Baruch Hashem, I'm very rich. I'm rich in my health. Thank the Rebbe every day, every single night, and many times a day. I thank the Rebbe and Hashem for my health, for my children, for my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, and my also my family of students that I have. So I'm grateful for everybody and everything. So the scenario is this: we're at the Hakafes, and of course we're standing there like, you know, squished. We don't even think about it. When we come home, the clothes. I once wore a brand new dress, because you know we saved dresses for Yontif, and it was a beautiful like eggplant color. And I was gonna wear my new dress for Hakafes. That's how it is. You know what? I never wore it before. When I came home, it was soaking wet. Okay, no problem. When it dried out, it had different colors. It was pink and was a deep red, and then a little eggplant was left over and dropped like by the bottom of the sleeve. But otherwise, it was every color under the sun. So that's how it was. Did you feel it? The shaitel? I can't tell you. You're embarrassed to walk out, but everybody looked the same. So we were fine, you know, with that. I was standing there, and suddenly we see something, and the women see everything. See, the men, many of them didn't even know what was going on, but we saw that the Rebbe looked very strange, and then he sat down. You see, the Rebbe sits down, it's like, you know, unheard of completely. So we knew there was, and then they announced that everybody should leave. So of course I was one of the last ones to leave, but we all left, so we didn't know really what happened there. But of course, the Rebbe had a major heart attack, and he sat down, but then he went to his room, and then they went into his sukkah. He made kiddush, and then he went into his room. The doctors they called in right away. Somebody flew in, but the Dr. Weiss called one of the specialists who lives in New York, so he came right away. But they all wanted to take the Rebbe to the hospital, and the Rebbe, of course, said he's not going. They called the Rebbetzin, and they told the Rebbe, so she came. The Rebbetzin said, I never disagreed with my husband. Since we're married, I have never disagreed with my husband, and if he said doesn't want to go, he's not going. Later on, they discovered something very interesting. Because the Rebbe didn't want to go, and all the connections that they have, they brought the most upscale, state-of-the-art equipment that they would not have had in the hospital. They didn't have it in the hospital even. Somebody brought it in because it was something that they were working on. So he had the best equipment that he possibly have. So the Rebbe says, I'm not going to the hospital, it means he doesn't have to go to the hospital. So now, fast forward, I'm not going to go to all the details because it was not such a happy time. But in the meantime, downstairs by the men, they're all dancing, crying and dancing with the kids on their shoulders. And it was Nobody went home. And they're singing the Rebbe soll gesund sein, the Rebbe soll gesund sein. And then they changed it. The Rebbe is gesund. The Rebbe is gesund. So this is, where do you get that from? You get that from tracht gut, that sein gut. You have to say he's well, he's well. And I think it's a lesson by us when we have a problem, somebody's not well. Don't say, I hope he's going to get well. First of all, never use the word hope. Because hope is a very negative term. It means either yes or no. I hope it's going to work out. What does that mean? Maybe not. When you say, I know it's going to work out, because I'll ask Hashem, and I know it's going to be good. That's all. And if it's not, what do they say? It's going to be good at the end. If it's not good, it's not the end. Right? Is that a good expression? It's going to be good at the end. But if it's not good, it's not the end. In other words, Hashem, we ask Hashem for something, and we don't get what we want. But we got what we need. Let's put it this way. So when they started to sing that Rebbe is the zone, you have no idea of the energy that was in 7-7. I'm sure you can see the energy now when they're dancing with all their heart and soul. Then on Shabbos, of course, the Rebbe was in his room the whole time. So I go to 7-7 in Shabbos. If I'm in Friday night, I only daven in 7-7. So I come to 770, and as I'm passing by, when the Rebbe was in his room, so the Bachrim would be outside by the side of by the side, where they have a chuppah, not in the front of the Rebbe's room, but on the side. That's what the Rebbe would be davening in that little room. So the Bachrim were there. So when I was passing, I saw the Bachrim there. It means the Rebbe's not in shul. So I was like, coming to shul was not the happiest of moods. It means the Rebbe's not in shul. And then when they announced that the Rebbe's go, so wait, let's go back a little bit more now. So on Motzei Yontif, the Rebbe told him, he has the doctors, he asked him how long he can talk. He wants to talk to the Chassidim. So he was in his room with a microphone. So most people didn't leave shul, so they all knew they were there, but whoever wasn't there, they were calling each other. So somebody called my husband was in shul, but nobody knew if he was in shul. Somebody called my house for my husband and said, the Rebbe is going to talk. And bang, hung up the phone because they were making dozens of calls. So my son was, my son was 4 years, 3, my youngest was 4 years old. I had undressed him to put him to sleep. I dressed him quickly and we ran to 770. And when the Rebbe started to speak, I can't tell you what went on in 770. It was quiet, and you could hear a pin drop, of course, but everybody was crying because it was such an emotional, I can't tell you. I can just hear the Rebbe's voice because we saw what happened to him, and just to hear the Rebbe's voice, we were just so overwhelmed with happiness, with joy, with gratitude to Hashem that we could hear the Rebbe. It was such a, I can't describe it. I hope my emotions are showing you what it was like, because there are no words to describe it. Just that feeling of release, because we were just all so tensed up. Nobody could release that feeling, and suddenly it just like, wow, we hear there was voice. Wow, and it was. I don't remember the sikha. I could tell you right now. I should have looked it up, but I don't remember it. At the time, it was easy because it was on a microphone, so we could hear every word. Usually by Farbrengen, it was Shabbos, you couldn't hear every word. You heard as much as you could, So, anybody want to comment, ask a question? Okay. So, we need to really understand the relationship between a Rebbe and a Chassid. Is so intrinsic to us that, again, we have to open ourselves up to understand that the Rebbe is with us all the time. I have a picture. My grandson has a thing about Tzivia Hashem, and he gives missions to everybody. Adults go on. We have adults Tzivia Hashem, they go on every day their mission. Today's mission was hug a Jew, and then the other one was
The WhatsApp?
yeah. Yesterday was give tzedakah with a smile. He has all these kind of things there. So it's really beautiful. Just it gives you very easy ones that you could really accomplish it. It's not you have to learn a maimer. He says learn a piece of or learn your capital. You learn one pasuk of your Tehillim with Rashi. I don't think that's a big job. And then he said learn a little bit of a sikha. So today I had to learn the sikha anyway. So I did that, but he gives you a little piece so you can learn right there on the spot. You don't have to look for something. It's in English and it makes it very, very easy. So this is one thing that, again, how do we connect? How do we connect? That's how you connect. Do something, that Rebbe told somebody that I think somebody said they want, how do I have a fascist? First of all, they want a picture of the Rebbe. So he did, I don't think that Rebbe gave him a picture. He said, you want a picture? Why do you want a picture of the Rebbe? He said, I should be able to see you. He said, you don't see me without a picture. But the picture is, you're going to have a picture. The picture is not, you understand what I mean? So I have a picture. Also, he said, one of them, he says, look at the Rebbe's picture. And remember that the Rebbe, when you're talking to him, he's responding. I have such a picture. I have two of them that one, it's not a joke, but one of them is like very, very serious. And the Rebbe says, like, get a hold of yourself. I think, like, enough is enough. And the other one says, yeah, don't worry. It's cool. Okay, you're okay. You're all right. So in the morning, I go to the one that says, like, you're going to daven? So could you try to daven? Like, really, really? And I'm looking at him and I said, I'm going to try. Sometimes he gives me a smile, but usually it's very sweet. The other one is always smiling. Always. I say, please, I'm going to speak for a group of women. I should have a tzlacha. I have a smile, though. You're going to do it. So those are the two. Now, you can make fun of it, right? But I feel that when I'm talking to the Rebbe, he's responding to me. I don't know, what can I tell you? That's how I feel. So I think wherever we put in, that's what we get. Some people write a letter to the Rebbe and they say, okay, it's either, remember, I use the word hope, right? Don't use the word hope. When you write to the Rebbe, it's okay, because this is what I need. I think this is what I want, this is what I need. But I know it's going to be good, whatever it is. Because we don't know really what we need. We think we know what we need, and that's what we ask for. And it's very normal. We're only human. But the Hashem gives us what we need. So there's, again, I'm trying to think of the word, is it want, is it wish, or need? So I said, does Hashem need us? Or he wants us? So Hashem created the world. It says, he had a desire to build, to get it. Not because he needs it, right? Because he wanted it. So does he want us or he needs us? He wants us. Does he need our mitzvah? He wants our mitzvah. That's how we have to look at the Rebbe. But we say we need the Rebbe. In a way, need is like a very needy kind of a thing. But we say we want the Rebbe. I want the Rebbe means you want something that's part of me. And the Rebbe wants us. After the heart attack, that the Rebbe, after he went home, he was giving out dollars, and the secretary sent a message, not everybody should go. And the Rebbe felt that was happening. So he told them in no uncertain terms, he said that he wants everybody there. He needs to have them there. He wants everyone to be there. Because the Rebbe is here for us. And he wants to serve us. That's the idea. It's not that we're imposing on him. We're not imposing on him. That's why the Rebbe wanted us to write to him and keep writing and asking for everything, and not to be also, and not to mince words, that, think of, well, like, make it shorter, make it so that concise, that it shouldn't take so much time, because the Rebbe's not I remember somebody saying, don't forget, the Rebbe's not such a young man, he's standing on his feet. And then when you saw the Rebbe walk in like a young man, with all the energy, how dare somebody even say that about the Rebbe? That he's not so young, and don't forget, he's not so young, and he gets tired. You don't use those words on the Rebbe. The Rebbe wants to be tired, then he'll be tired if he wants to be. It's not our business to even look at the Rebbe that way. I remember there was a lady on my block, Mama Shatzadekas. I don't even want to talk about her because it's such a sad story. But her husband came home from Shabbos. She had a bunch of babies. She had 10 kids, bunch of babies. So he said, oh, the Rebbe looks so tired when at the end of the Farbrengen. She said, the Rebbe looked tired at Farbrengen? Did you listen to this? You tell me the Rebbe was tired? Did you see what the Rebbe really is? I didn't know he's tired. Did you listen to the whole Farbrengen? Well, he doesn't understand Yiddish, so he didn't listen to much. But that's what she said. Again, we don't talk about the Rebbe as though he's like one of us. He's tired. I'm tired. I'm standing on my feet, and he's standing on his feet. The Rebbe is not what we think the Rebbe is. That's why we could say the Rebbe is here, because we didn't see the Rebbe then, and you don't see him now. Okay, we think we saw the Rebbe. Okay? I'm going to tell you a story. My daughter and my son-in-law have a Chabad house in the Upper East Side. And they have, different kinds of people are learning about Yiddish. Some of them completely know nothing. And some are beginning to learn. And Baruch Hashem, it's blossoming. The whole neighborhood changed its face. It's a different neighborhood. Multi-millionaires. And the women are running to the mikveh. They go 3 times to a gym in one. Everyone is in the gym 3 times a day so far, because that's their lifestyle. But they're all going to the mikveh. They're up state-of-the-art mikveh. So they, I wanted to put it on, I don't care. Yeah, I forgot what I wanted to say. I think so. One second. Oh, yeah. They brought a group of people for dollars to the Rebbe. Mostly young people, because they have what they call the young professionals. And after dollar, they came to my house for lunch. So, or what was it, whatever it was. Anyway, I'm in the kitchen, and one of the guys comes into the kitchen, and my daughter told me later, he's the most secular guy that he goes to the shiksa. He never went out with a Jewish girl, that kind of a guy. He comes into the kitchen, he says to me, I have something to tell you. He said that I don't think I could tell it to anybody because nobody's going to believe me, but you will understand what I'm telling you. But okay, privilege. Anyway, he said, I'm sending a line to get $1 from the Rebbe. And as I get closer, I see the Rebbe gives them $1. He talks to them. Sometimes he says something. Sometimes they say something. As I approaching the Rebbe, I don't see the Rebbe. I see a ball of fire. And he said, it was such a split second. He said, the next second, I'm holding $1. I turn around, I say, yeah, the Rebbe was standing giving other people dollars. I'm holding $1, but I've never experienced getting the $1. So I said, you know what? You saw the Rebbe. Do you understand? The Rebbe showed himself to him. Because the Rebbe is not what we think. 2 eyes, a mouth, a nose. I saw the Rebbe. I thought I saw the Rebbe. He saw the Rebbe. I will never forget this because it's just such a revelation that, again, we think we saw the Rebbe. That's why it's not, when I come to 770, and I've been here, I'm here, I'm an old lady, So I've been here through all kinds of periods of life. Probably the best of life after to see the Rebbe every single Shabbat, getting dollars, getting coins, listen to his, you can't compare to anything else. So when I come to 770 now, and I look down downstairs, and I see people there. So some of them are, you can see a little yarmulke, and there's a guy who wears the talis but no jacket, so he's not, he's not wearing a kapot. And then some guys with the satmer, with the hat, with the streimlach. And when the chazan is singing, they're all jumping up and down. And I'm like, what? Like, why are they jumping up and down? Where's the excitement? The excitement is the Rebbe, And I say, look at this. They never saw the Rebbe. You can see the age of the people, I think I'm the oldest person there. I'm probably one of the few people who saw the Rebbe, But most of the people down there, I never saw the Rebbe. But the excitement, the enthusiasm, the desire for seeing the Rebbe, for wanting Mashiach to be revealed, is so palpable. Where does it come from? Because they see the Rebbe as much as I saw the Rebbe. You can't see the Rebbe with plain, regular eyes, fleischig at school. How do you call it in English? Fleischig. How do you say fleischig in English? Meat. Media. What is it?
Everything he's done and miracles like that. That's how we the Rebbe.
So when the Alter Rebbe was passing away, Chav Daled Teileh, the Tzemach Tzedek was very depressed, and he was davening with a very depressing voice. And when he finished, the Alter Rebbe said, "Why are you so depressed?" He says, "You have to be the Simcha." He reprimanded him, and then he said, and he was standing near a stender. So he said to him, "Tzedek, what do you see?" He said, "I see a stender." So the Alter Rebbe said, "I don't see a stender anymore. I only see the energy. It's mitzitzas. What it makes the standard. This is what that's what I'm talking about, the Rebbe. The Rebbe is there all the time. Constantly, everywhere. Where's the Rebbe? Where you let him in. And that helps us with our challenges. That helps us to deal with them. Because we know the Rebbe is with us every single moment. And the Rebbe says to the person that you think you were hurt, the more pain came to me than to you. Because you're Shuliyach. I sent you there, and you needed it to get hurt. But the main pain I have, I'm there with you all the time. There's no moment when I'm not there. Because don't forget, we start to think when we say Osham de Bakatne, Kazalna, whatever we did, and we reprimand ourselves for touching this, I don't know why. I reprimand ourselves for things that we did that were not good. You know what the Rebbe says is that I was there with you all the time. So you did it. Is there something you could do about it? Good. If not, okay, good tshuva. But don't live with it. Don't live with there's no yesterday. There's nothing that you did even a minute ago that counts unless you can do something about it. If you can do something about it, then do it. If not, forget about it. There's nothing you can do. And let's try to remember that. Because it's very hard for us. Because we feel guilty. Now guilt, I know it's supposed to be a Jewish thing. They say Jews' Alzheimer's is they forget everything but the guilt. But guilt is a Jewish thing. Guilt is not a Jewish thing. It's a Goyish thing. There's no such a thing as guilt. There is regret, the desire to make good, but there's no guilt. What does guilt mean? Hashem was there when you were doing it. Okay? He was right there. Could he stop you? You know, we have free choice, so we do everything. What we want. You know, why he gave us free choice, I don't know. But did you have to give us free choice? So we could do everything? Could we just pull some string? Don't do that. That's funny. Try to make life. I could make a joke out of that. You know? So, okay, where do we go from here? Let's see what else do I have. So, you know, when I come to 770, people suddenly come, you know, and there's a special program for women or whatever, and women come from out of town. There's always some lady who'll come over to me. Oh, I was standing near you when you used to repeat what the Rebbe said, you know. I said, are you older now? But it's such a beautiful thing that people remember that. Because what happened, I think most of you know probably, because when the Rebbe would speak, and then they would, on Shabbos and Yom Tov, I'm not talking about the middle of the week, there was a microphone, you know. So when the Rebbe would speak, and then they would sing, so while they were singing, I would turn around and I would just give them the highlights of what the Rebbe spoke. So why did I do that? Just the same reason as when she called me up, can you speak on Monday night? I said, yes. Why do I? Because I can. Because I'm so excited and enthusiastic about what I'm teaching. And when the Rebbe would speak, I said, wow, I got the point. I have to share it. I can't just, that's why I did it. It wasn't just like, oh, let me tell you what the Rebbe spoke. I turned around to the women, you know, let me tell you what the Rebbe said. That wasn't it. I just couldn't wait to share what I understood. It was so much excitement. You know how the Rebbe speaks? I mean, with so much passion and love and excitement. And that's when I would turn around. Sometimes when I would walk home and I would see some lady or something, I'd, oh, yeah, they hear what the Rebbe said. I always did that. Like crazy. Why do you do that? About Pirkei Avos. Oh, you have to hear this. And then with the convention, the women's convention. So some of the ladies that were involved with the convention, that were so involved, they didn't go to the Farbrengen. So I meet them and I said, lady, you're running the convention and you don't know what the Rebbe said. I have to tell you. So I didn't need to make them feel bad. But you know what? I just felt like they need to know if they're the ones that are running the convention, they need to know what the Rebbe said. You know, he spoke about the book. You know, there's a book about candle lighting. I think it's called Aura or something. At that time, you know, many years ago. So I said, the Rebbe spoke about the book that you put out. You know, it was so exciting. The Rebbe was so involved with everybody. It was just amazing. It was just awesome. So how did I get to be this, you know, speaker? I mean, don't ask me. I know when people don't know, you know, they laugh when I tell them. So my blood pressure lately has been very high. I started a new job. My kids are making fun of me. It says, your age. I'm people supposed to retire. And I said, I'm unemployed. I need a job. So I got myself I'm teaching in high school. So I'm very nervous because I don't know how it's gonna come across. So my blood pressure went up. So they gave me some medication. It's not working. I thought she called, and I have a thing that it registers by them. When I take my blood pressure, they know what it is. You know, goes straight to them. So she called me up, your blood pressure. I said, I'll tell you, I was very nervous because I'm going to teach tomorrow morning, and I'm not sure that I'm prepared, properly. She said, so the cardiologist that I had to see also, he said to me, you still get nervous? Yeah, that's what my blood pressure is. They can't figure out what my blood pressure is. I said, yeah, because I get nervous, yeah, because I don't know how it's going to come across. That's what happened. So, how I don't tell you to that, I don't know. But anyway, anybody else? Nobody wants to say something or ask something. Go ahead. But if I don't hear you, repeat what you said, because I don't hear so well. So how am I teaching, right? When a student asks me a question, I go over to her. I said, girls, I don't hear so well. I'm going to come over. You can ask me a question. I can hear most everything, but certain things I don't get. So I come over. I'm not embarrassed. So what should I do? What should I do? If I didn't hear that, I'll pretend I heard, And what am I supposed to answer? Go ahead, your question.
Okay.
Thank you.
And the question is, you say, when was the first time the Rebbe spoke in the Farbrengen after little better? When was
After the heart attack, you mean? Well, that Motzah Yom Tov was the first time, and then every Motzah Shabbos, because he used to Farbrengen on Shabbos. He couldn't Farbrengen on Shabbos, so Motzah Shabbos, from his room, he was Farbrengen on a microphone. They didn't let him talk too much, but it was always a sikha, at least one or two sikhas, always a maimed. Yeah, he did more than the doctor said. It's interesting what he said to the doctor said. There's what is there, 60% chance that it's going to come back. They said, oh, that means that 40% chance that it's not. That's how we have to look at something. Somebody tells you 95%, also 5% means that's okay. 95% of what she said was stupid, but 5% was good. I'm fine with that. That's how we have to look at everything. They never teaches you how to look at something. They couldn't get him, he couldn't get the Rebbe. Whatever they said, he turned it around on them, So, but that's a lesson for us, for every single thing that happens. What is it?
everything was the Shabbos you spoke?
What's the Shabbos?
Yeah, everything was the Shabbos.
There was a hookup. Everybody you didn't have to be 7-7.
You did also like write letters to him? You also write letters?
Oh, yeah, there was no problem. It's just that the Rebbe did not come out of Farbrengen on Shabbos. So he was in his room for, I think, how many weeks was it? Started in Shmini Atzeres, and he came out of Rosh Chodesh Kislev. He came out of the room.
Were you like...
And when the Rebbe came out, you don't know what went on. They didn't stop dancing for 24 hours. All night was dancing. The Rebbe went home, they didn't stop dancing. All night, and the next day, it was just non-stop dancing like 770. It was just, you have to just imagine what it looked like. But I think we can imagine because we see the dancing now. And again, I just told you, I'm looking at people who never saw the Rebbe, who never even get a glimpse, never got $1. We got dollars, we got coins, and we got yechidas. I was on yechidas by the Rebbe. The Rebbe was my Masada Kedushin, by my chuppah. So, can you beat that? You know what I mean? And these people never saw anything. And yet, the excitement and the enthusiasm, because, again, the Rebbe is right here. And that boy that told me about the ball of fire, I'm so grateful because it gave me a whole new perspective on things. Because, again, we think we see something. There's more that's real that we don't see. Now what we do see is not real. It's not real.
It was comforting to hear the Rebbe speak. It was comforting to hear the Rebbe speak.
Ah,
When was the first proper Farbrengen?
when the Rebbe came home already, the next time there was a regular Farbrengen. After you could look up when the first sikha, and look at the sikhas, you could look up what is the first sikha that was that the Rebbe spoke after Rosh Chodesh Kislev. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I don't have that information. And it was supposed to be what time is it? Am I over time?
There's no, yeah.
What is it?
There's no timeline.
Oh, there's no time.
All night long. Yeah, it's 24 hours.
You can't scare me because I can speak for 24 hours. Literally. Literally.
I have someone who sent in a message who's watching.
What it did?
She's a wonderful shlucha. Sent in a message who's watching. She said, you can tell her that someone is on the Zoom who remembers Mrs. Jacobson giving synopsis in 770 in between the sikhas. It was so special and such a mitzvah to help us all understand. So thank you very
Is
much.
that nice? So I had a beautiful experience with them in Mechon. Yeah. So I was teaching the girls. I mean, I teach every week, and I look always for something that has to do with women. Every parsha, I'm always looking for the women's angle. So, and then I was speaking about. I said, how do we look at people? We're very judgmental. We look at somebody how they're dressed. Oh, so obviously she, whatever. Obviously, whatever it is. We're always. If we make judgments like one split second. You can look at 10 people and you already know everything about them because of the way they dress, the way their hair is, everything. So I said, let's learn something. Let's look at people and look at their eyes. Don't look at how they're dressed. You want to help them? Talk to them. See where they're at. Don't make a judgment and right away you know already, so this is the way I have to talk to this person because look at how they're dressed. That's not what we do. So anyway, so I said, my way is I never look at the, I see, can't help seeing what they're dressed, but you don't make a judgment. You say, oh, so it must be so-and-so. And I talk to them. And it's also very interesting what we need to do. If you go in the street and you see somebody is not dressed, and you know this girl comes from a home, she should know better. And so, what's your first reaction? What's your first reaction? To reprimand,
Yeah.
what the first reaction is? Why did Hashem show this to you? Think about it. Did you have to see it? For what? Is it because, is it so you could say, look at the home she comes from. What is this? Is that going to help anybody? Is that what Hashem showed it to you, do you think? So if you have a negative feeling about it means there's nothing you could do, you should do, and you just walk away. If you say, oh, I wonder what could be the situation. Is there anything I can do about it? Then you know that you're seeing the person for what they are. To react, if it's a negative reaction like anger, oh, wow. Or what's my job here? Okay. Anyway, that's how I'm speaking. So I said, like for example, at a wedding, I always call girls. I see girls who, like they don't get up to dance because they're not comfortable. Again, whatever they're, maybe they're not dressed, maybe they don't know anybody. I'm always dancing with people that I don't even know who they are. Always grabbing people because I love to dance. What should I tell you? When the music is playing, everybody who knows me. The music is playing, I'm dancing. So when I finished the whole talk and we all finished the class, the one girl stand up and she had to share something. So a few months ago, when I first came to Crown Heights, I was invited to a wedding, and I was dressed like, nobody should dress. Not only at a wedding, should dress that way. Okay, so I'm sitting around with some of the other girls that I came with, because they were here already before. I'm the only new one here. All of a sudden, a lady comes over to me, grabs me, and starts dancing with me. And she said, you know who the lady was? You. So what she said was something beautiful. She said, you live what you teach. To me, that was the biggest compliment that anybody could give me. Because when you teach and you don't live what you teach, what's the use? There's absolutely no use for that. So we really need to live what we teach. So that was, to me, it was so touching. I can't forget it. So I don't remember who the girl is. I totally forgot who she is. I only come once a week. I don't get to know the girls. Who are my students now? I don't know. Are you here? So yeah. So I see you once a week, and I don't have time to get to know you, and maybe we should spend time. Actually, I have time. Anybody wants to talk to me after class, but you would go to another class. That's the problem. But if you ever want to talk to me, I'm available. Okay, I want to get to know people. Okay, so thank you. But I love my students. Am I right? Do I love you or not? Okay. Okay, so shall we go to I'm not going to teach us something. Now we're just learning something very, really beautiful, because again, I'm always looking for an egg. Is this something from me? I'm playing around with this. I'm always looking for the angle where the woman comes in. So I have the sikha that I taught you. Miriam is thinking to the men. But I looked up, I told you that I listened to the sikha first of all, from the Rebbe before I taught it. I had an essay that my son wrote based on the sikha, and that's what I gave you to read, But I have the actual sikha right here, that the actual words that the Rebbe spoke. Because not even Mugadik, it means nobody edited it. This is before the editing. And you could see the difference in when it was edited, how much the Rebbe put like so much emotion into his talk. It's just totally incredible. So I went over it again, and I'm listening to the Rebbe Sikha, and you can see that the person that my son wrote up in an essay, the Sikha, he was pretty accurate about all the points, but that doesn't come to really hearing the Rebbe's voice, and the Rebbe's actually speaking those words. So just totally incredible. Yeah. Okay. So you want me to go on? Because I could,
Yeah.
I could go nonstop,
Yeah.
right? Anybody want to know if it's anything in particular specific? I'd love to really respond to whoever wants. Otherwise, me. There's so much stuff that could be said that it's unending.
When other than looking at the pictures, the stern picture and the smiling picture.
Yeah. So what about?
What are other? Where are other places where you feel the Rebbe is like speaking to you or answering?
I'm not one of those people. I have 2 daughters who are so. I mean, when they come to the Ohel, they feel. I don't feel anything. What should I tell you? I'm not in touch with my. I don't know what it is. When I go to the Ohel, I go because of Kabbalah's oil, and I ride a pond, and I cry, and I do everything, but I don't feel the connection when I go to the Ohel. I feel more connection when I go pictures. And then most of the time I write letters to the Rebbe, and I put it in the book and talk to the Rebbe, and I said, I just wrote up, I said, what I want, and so on. I speak to the Rebbe more than, and I put it in the Sefer. But again, Then people come to go to the oil, they come out and they're like, I said, what should I tell you? I'm not in touch with my, I don't know why.
It's
Something
okay.
is missing.
I also feel the same.
What it
actually.
did?
I also feel the same. When I go to the oil, I just like I don't have emotions.
That's what feels.
And I feel like I need to.
How many people do feel? Beautiful.
But I just I'm in 70.
I envy you. What should I tell you? I don't know what to do.
Really?
I love crying to you. I'm actually doing this so I can cry. I've cried so many times there. It's great. Like I walk in, I go to the bathroom, I grab a whole bunch of tissues.
Wow.
I go wash my gloves, and then I go in, I'm like, all right, this one's for you.
Wow.
That's so now I'm actually crying.
Yes. Oh, I thought you were about
I invited me last week because I didn't make
Thank you so much.
Oh, are we taking a picture?
Yes, I wanna, hello everybody, on behalf of all of us, we want to thank Mrs. Jacobson.
Thank you.
So we have a book for you. Thank you so much. You already live with everything in here, but I felt, a nice day for always
And
helpful.
the beautiful letters for life.
I
It's
love
a
that book.
beautiful, I know, I love it
10 out of
so
10.
much.
I got it at Alachaya. Oh
And
wow!
if
Yeah.
you don't mind, we
Yeah.
have a tradition of limited students that we take a picture with our speaker. Do you mind, please?
You know what?
Well, it's
So what do we
Maybe
want to do?
everyone
Lower this one,
Like,
if you
Ready
just,
leaving?
No,
just
I'm,
turn around this way.
if anybody wants to leave, they could leave and I could stay. I'm not rushing anywhere. Oh, you want me to turn around?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yay, thank you.
Mrs. Jacobson, thank you. No, honestly, I get backed up so much in Shabbos fights. Alright, so maybe I'll see you on Shabbos. Yeah. I could also give you my WhatsApp. Oh, not Facebook. This is Leffer. Naomi. Yeah. Yeah. Because I keep inviting myself, and she's like, I got this. Then I went here, and she's like, you know what? So it has like I call it Baumgarten. It's either Baumgarten, Chunk with gas, or all.